It's amazing, isn't it? Like, just a few months back, the thought of Thomas Tuchel at the helm of England was just a wild what if. The kind of thing you'd bat around with your mates down the
Oh,
pub.
literally.
And now here we are, poring over his
Yeah.
very first squad announcement.
Yeah.
Those all-important World Cup qualifiers against Albania and Latvia coming up. And it feels like a real turning point, doesn't it?
Yeah.
A brand new chapter for English football.
So we're diving deep today, trying to decipher what these player choices actually tell us. Where's Tuchel trying to take this team? What's his vision?
It is a pivotal moment, really. That first squad selection, it's always a statement, isn't it? A bit like a manager laying down their cards on the table. Shows you the kind of football they want to play, the personalities they're looking for in that dressing room. And with someone like Tuchel, well, his pedigree speaks for itself. You just know every single name on that list, and even the ones who didn't make the cut. They've been meticulously thought through. For first impressions, when that squad list dropped, what were your thoughts? I've got to say, the name that jumped out at me was Marcus Rashford. I mean, rewind a bit, and things at Manchester United weren't looking so rosy for him, were they?
No.
It was almost like he was in exile. And then this incredible transformation to Aston Villa. Now he's driving them towards a Champions League spot, deep in the FA Cup, 4 assists and 9 appearances since that January move. It's almost like a football fairy tale.
It really is a remarkable comeback story, and I think it speaks volumes about what Tuchel is looking for in a player. Reports suggest he was particularly impressed with Rashford's renewed dedication to the, shall we say, less glamorous side of the game, the relentless pressing, the hard work tracking back. You can see it, can't you?
Yeah.
That intensity off the ball, it's always been a hallmark of Tuchel's tactical approach. So Rashford getting that call-up, it's not just about his obvious attacking flair. It's a clear sign that he's bought into that tactical discipline that Tuchel demands. The challenge now, both for Tuchel and Rashford, is can they keep that fire burning? Can he bottle that Villa form and bring it to the England setup? It'll be about making sure those old habits, as Tuchel himself apparently called them, don't resurface.
Absolutely. That consistency, that mental shift, that's the key. And then you've got a figure like Jordan Henderson, 34 years old, and there's his name on the squad list.
I think that raised a few eyebrows, didn't it?
I think it did.
I mean, he's had such a diverse career, those glory years at Liverpool, then the move to Saudi Arabia, now applying his trade at Ajax. Some might even say it's a sentimental choice. Yeah, there's a potential for that interpretation, definitely. But from what we've heard from Tuchel, his reasoning seems to be rooted in what Henderson brings to the table beyond the pitch. It's those leadership qualities, his character, the way he injects personality into the squad, that never-ending energy. Imagine a player who's been there, done it all, at the very highest level, someone who just inherently understands the standards required. You could almost call him, and I know it's a bit cliche, but the locker room dad. Yeah. And it's a vital role in any team, isn't it? That experienced head, guiding the younger players, keeping things in check, embodying the team's ethos. Tuchel clearly believes Henderson can still fulfill that role.
I think it's that balance, the blend of experience and fresh young talent that's always so intriguing in these squad selections. Speaking of youth, one name that's really got people talking is Myles Lewis-Skelly from Arsenal. 18 years old, and the comparisons to Jude Bellingham are already flying around. Huge expectations for such a young lad.
It's a massive show of faith from Tuchel, isn't it? To bring an 18-year-old into the senior squad, especially one who's not yet a nailed-on starter at club level, that tells you everything about the potential Tuchel sees in him. And those Bellingham comparisons, while they highlight the kind of dynamic, technically gifted midfielder Lewis-Skelly is supposed to be. Of course, it's a long-term game, and managing those expectations around young players is so important. But this call-up shows that Tuchel isn't afraid to throw in the youngsters, the ones he thinks could shape England's future. How he integrates Lewis-Skelly into the squad will be fascinating to watch.
And then you've got someone like Dan Burn. Making your international debut at 32, that takes some doing. Not a call-up many people saw coming.
No, it wasn't on a lot of people's dingo cards, that's for sure. But I think Burn's inclusion points to a slightly different side of Tuchel's thinking. Here's a player who's been consistently solid for Newcastle. Reliable, versatile, a physical presence. Sometimes in international football, having those dependable players who can slot in, do a job without any fuss, they're just as valuable as the flair players. It suggests Tuchel values consistency, that strong work ethic. And Burn's journey is a testament to that.
And at the heart of all of this is Tuchel himself. The fact that he's only the third non-British manager to take the reins of England. That adds another layer to the story, doesn't it? And then you've got Prince William giving him quite the ringing endorsement, calling him one of the top 5 managers in the world, expressing real optimism about England's chances under his leadership. That's got to be a confidence booster.
It's certainly a weighty endorsement, and it adds to the pressure and expectation that comes with the job. Tuchel's initial reaction, calling it exciting and a bit surreal, but also stressing his pride and that determination to earn his place, it felt very genuine, didn't it? Here's a manager with a proven track record, success at some of the biggest clubs in Europe, and now he's stepping into a role with immense national significance. How he handles that cultural aspect, that weight of expectation, it'll be fascinating to observe.
So let's break down the squad a bit for everyone listening. In goal, we've got Dean Henderson, Jordan Pickford, Aaron Ramsdale, and James Trafford. A pretty familiar group, I'd say.
Yeah, a solid group and plenty of competition for that #1 spot. Pickford's been the established choice, but the others are breathing down his neck, keeping him on his toes.
At the back, we've got Byrne and Lewis-Skelly, of course, but also Tino Livramento, Levi Colwill, Reece James, Mark Guehi, Ezri Konsa, Jarrell Quansah, and Kyle Walker. A real mix of youth and experience there.
Definitely. Walker's still there, even after moving to AC Milan, and that shows you the value of his experience, his enduring quality. And it's great to see some young talent like Colwill, Livramento, Konsa getting that opportunity to learn and develop in the senior setup.
In midfield, the options are Jude Bellingham, Ebriki Eze, Jordan Henderson, Curtis Jones, Cole Palmer, Declan Rice, and Morgan Rogers. A nice blend of creativity and steel there, I think.
It's a very well-balanced midfield, isn't it? You've got the world-class talent of Bellingham, the defensive solidity of Rice, and then players like Eze and Palmer who can unlock defenses with a moment of magic. And I think Henderson's experience will be crucial in guiding that group both on and off the pitch.
And up front, leading the line, we've got Jared Bowen, Phil Foden, Anthony Gordon, Harry Kane, and Marcus Rashford. Tuchel's got some serious firepower at his disposal.
No doubt about it. Kane is still the main man up top, but the players around him offer so much variety. Pace, dribbling ability, different types of finishing. And Rashford's return adds another exciting dimension to that attack.
So the first hurdle for Tuchel is those World Cup qualifiers, Albania and Latvia. On paper, they're games England should win comfortably. But as any England fan knows, you can never be too sure.
Absolutely. The pressure will be on to get those wins, but it's also a chance for Tuchel to put his ideas into practice, try out different combinations, start building that cohesive unit that's so crucial for success at the highest level. These qualifiers, they're our first real glimpse into his tactical approach with England.
And then there are the big questions, the ones everyone's thinking about. Can Rashford keep up this fantastic form under Tuchel for England? How will Henderson's experience and leadership play out on the pitch against potentially more dynamic opponents? And the million-dollar question, the one that hangs over every England manager, can Tuchel be the one to break that long, long wait and bring the World Cup home? It's been a while since '66.
Those are the big narratives, and only time will tell how they unfold. Tuchel's got the credentials, he's made some interesting initial selections, and the talent in the England squad is undeniable. But international football is a unique challenge, and building a team that can consistently compete at the top, it takes more than just individual talent. It needs tactical cohesion, a strong team spirit, and maybe a little bit of luck along the way.
So, to sum it all up, Tuchel's first England squad is a fascinating mix. You've got those experienced players alongside some really exciting young talent and a few surprise inclusions that give us a peek into his vision. These aren't just names on a piece of paper. They're the first signs of what could be a whole new era for English football.
I completely agree. It's a squad that suggests Tuchel is looking to reward form, he values experience in key positions, and he's not afraid to invest in the next generation. Those decisions around players like Rashford and Henderson really highlight his willingness to make those tough calls based on the qualities he thinks are absolutely vital.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it? What's the secret ingredient for building a winning international team? Is it about finding that perfect balance between seasoned veterans guiding the youngsters? Is it having a tactical genius in charge? Or is it just about capturing that lightning in a bottle, that collective belief, that momentum when it really matters? We've talked about the blend of experience and youth, the tactical changes Tuchel seems to be bringing in. What do you think, what are the most important factors that will determine England's success under his leadership? It's going to be one heck of a journey.
It certainly will.